In our interactions with various people, we often assume the presence of kindness, thinking that most individuals wish well for themselves and us. Yet sometimes reality unveils a harsher truth. We encounter those who unexpectedly prove otherwise, those who, hidden beneath layers of charm, harbor toxic traits. These individuals could be anyone: friends, family, colleagues, or even new acquaintances. They skillfully mask detrimental intentions. Being able to identify when someone harbors negativity towards you is essential. Toxic individuals might slowly infiltrate your life, leaving an indelible impact on your mental well-being, happiness, and peace without you even realizing it. It's vital to recognize the signs of a toxic individual. They can be subtle and therefore challenging to detect, but understanding them is crucial for shielding yourself. You may find it insightful to follow this video to discover their tactics and safeguard yourself from potential harm. So sit back with your coffee, hit that like button, and pay close attention to this profound lesson. Remind yourself, my serenity is indeed worth protecting. First sign: toxic individuals exploit your weak points. A pervasive feature among toxic people is their manipulative mindset, laced with a calculating nature. They often seek to earn your trust by uncovering your weaknesses and areas of vulnerability. Once these are identified, they weaponize this knowledge against you. Perhaps they exploit a past failure or something personal you've entrusted them with. For instance, they might undermine you by recalling a setback, stating things like, "You're always complaining, but you've never excelled at this," or "It's no surprise you've struggled with this." Such individuals may dredge up past traumas to belittle you, especially in the presence of others, aiming to narrate the story in their favor. By leveraging your vulnerabilities, they attempt to diminish your self-worth, driving you to doubt your capabilities, emotions, and decisions. This tactic isn't just emotionally damaging, it fosters a state of perpetual self-doubt. It is crucial to discern when your past has been used as a weapon against you. Openness in relationships is important, but so is discerning who can be trusted with your personal insights. If someone exploits your vulnerabilities to manipulate or wound you, it's a definitive sign they don't contribute to your well-being. Establish boundaries and be selective about whom you permit into your personal sphere. Second sign: they cannot rejoice in your achievements. A hallmark of a toxic personality is envy, often expressed through an inability to celebrate your triumphs. Rather than sharing your joy, they may belittle your accomplishments or respond with indifference when you succeed. Whether it's a promotion, a goal you've reached, or an occasion of happiness, their responses lack genuine happiness. Imagine a colleague downplaying your promotion, or a friend offering backhanded compliments like, "That's all right for now, but don't get carried away." Instead of uplifting you, they endeavor to pull you down, making you question whether your success holds any real value. Their actions are fueled by jealousy and insecurity. Some might try to outshine you by stating, "I achieved that before," or "That's nice, but I'm aiming for something bigger." The underlying issue is their intimidation by your success, which they seek to overshadow to avoid feeling lesser. Recognizing these behaviors is key to managing relationships with such individuals while prioritizing your own happiness and achievements. Recognizing such tendencies is vital, as they signify that the person isn't genuinely invested in your well-being. They might put on a guise of happiness for your successes, but their covert actions disclose the reality. It's crucial to keep company with those who earnestly cheer for your thriving endeavors and share in your happiness. If an individual consistently attempts to sap the significance of what you achieve, it's a definitive indication that they carry toxic traits and should be distanced for your emotional health. Sign 3. Manipulative sweet talkers. Beware. A commonly employed ploy by toxic folks involves sweet words meant to charm and control. Lavishing you with flattery, they aim not to acknowledge, but to entrap. Their words, while sounding sincere, serve an ulterior purpose instead of genuine support. The excessive adoration is a strategic ploy to engender a sense of indebtedness or reliance on them for validation. Picture a colleague heaping praise on your efforts to a hyperbolic degree, saying, "You're the backbone of our entire project," only to later corner you for favors or to rope you into tasks beyond your duty. Similarly, expect them to make you feel exceptional through accolades, only to leverage this emotional attachment when it suits them. This manipulation exploits our inherent quest for affirmation and acknowledgement. By offering false feelings of value, they skillfully craft an obligation which sways you to meet their demands, often compromising your own boundaries. It's essential to sift through the excess to find genuine commendation. When flattery feels overdone or discomforting, misgivings about its authenticity should arise. Gaining awareness around this psychological tug-of-war allows you to dodge manipulation, keeping autonomy in your actions. Sign 4. The self-centered playbook. Self-absorption is another hallmark of toxic personalities. These individuals are notoriously wrapped up in their desires and ambitions, often neglecting how their pursuits affect those around them. They monopolize dialogues to revolve around themselves, reaching out primarily when they seek something, with scant regard for your own needs or emotions. Consider a friend who reaches out solely for emotional comfort and disappears when you're in need, or a partner who demands your full attention but overlooks your desires. These interactions are debilitating, perpetuating a cycle of giving without reciprocation. Such dynamics exhaust you, depleting your energy while leaving you feeling undervalued and unappreciated. These individuals generally anticipate your resources and time to be at their disposal, offering little in return. Preserving your sense of self necessitates recognizing such one-way exchanges. Authentic relationships thrive on mutual respect, equilibrium, and shared empathy. If your involvement is entirely lopsided, it's indicative of dealing with someone self-centered. By setting firm boundaries and ensuring your needs are met, you avert exploitation of your generous nature. Sign 5. The kindness exploitation. Frequently, toxic personalities prey on those who are inherently kind-hearted, generous, and compassionate. If you're someone who instinctively offers a hand, listens with empathy, or extends support without hesitation, you become an attractive target for exploitation. They perceive your unwavering willingness to assist as an opening to take advantage, relying on your predictable availability even when their actions don't merit your kindness. These toxic folks often misuse your benevolence, counting on the fact that your inclination to aid others won't falter despite their manipulative behaviors. Your goodwill becomes a resource they tap into, often draining your emotional reserves in the process. It's crucial to remain mindful and ensure that your generosity isn't being abused, preserving it for those truly deserving of your care. By understanding these signs and maintaining your boundaries, you protect both your peace and your goodwill, engaging with others on your terms without falling into a harmful cycle. Consider how some individuals may frequently rely on you for assistance, continuously seeking help with favors, borrowing resources, or asking for your time without ever offering anything in return. They may proclaim, "You're the only person I can count on," yet vanish when you find yourself in need. This behavior reveals their strategy to exploit your generous spirit, knowing well that you are unlikely to refuse. Such exploitation can manifest in numerous forms, be it emotional, economic, or physical manipulation, all designed to benefit their interests while ignoring your own well-being. Over time, you may begin to feel depleted, taken advantage of, and undervalued. To safeguard your own interests, it's crucial to establish firm boundaries and remain vigilant to the marks of exploitation. While lending a helping hand is commendable, it should never leave you feeling compelled or diminished in one-sided transactions. Being aware of the nuances of manipulation and consistently saying no when faced with excessive demands is essential. Fostering healthy relationships hinges on respect and reciprocity rather than one-dimensional generosity. Sign 6. Gradually isolating you from your social circle. An insidious tactic employed by toxic individuals is the gradual isolation of their targets from supportive relationships. Their goal is to create a sense of dependency, allowing them greater sway over your emotional state and decision-making process. This separation often commences subtly. They might suggest spending more time with them, or subtly disparage your interactions with others, perhaps causing you to feel guilty for maintaining these connections. Imagine a partner expressing that you prioritize friends over them, or a friend implying that you neglect them in favor of others. Such comments can slowly pressure you into severing ties with those who genuinely support you. Toxic people are aware that if they can cut you off from your familiar circle, they gain easier control over you. They might criticize your loved ones, labeling them as negative influences to encourage your reliance exclusively on them. This behavior is a manipulative ploy aimed at making you internalize the notion that they alone are trustworthy. If you observe a growing distance between you and those you care about, spurred by one individual's negativity, it's a clear warning signal. Isolating someone is a common tactic of manipulative behavior, and maintaining close ties with those who uplift you and considering their perspective is crucial. Toxic individuals aim to sever your connections to increase their influence. Refusing to allow this will help safeguard your autonomy. Sign 7. Breeding uncertainty and chaos. A hallmark of toxic personalities involves maintaining an atmosphere of uncertainty and chaos. These individuals may accomplish this by frequently altering their demeanor, twisting truths, or offering contradictory narratives, leaving you in a state of confusion. Such tactics keep you questioning your perception, thus surrendering control over your responses and actions. You might find that interactions with this person leave you doubting your judgments or feeling unsteady. They could shift abruptly from warmth to criticism, make unfulfilled promises, or provide conflicting information, perpetuating a cycle of doubt. These constant inconsistencies serve to keep you off balance, fostering a dependency where you look to them for clarity and affirmation. By twisting details or playing mind games, they lead you to question your reality, a strategy that can severely impact your mental wellness. This ongoing erosion of self-trust results in second-guessing yourself consistently and feeling unjustly blamed. Avoiding this psychological quagmire requires trusting your intuition and recognizing such patterns for what they are. Reclaiming clarity involves staying grounded in your values and perceptions, resisting the pull of their chaos, and reinforcing your sense of self and truth. Engaging in relationships characterized by respect and unwavering honesty enhances your resilience against the toxic chaos. Watching for these indications and taking decisive action ensures that you maintain a firm grasp on your well-being and autonomy, free from the tangled web that toxic influences attempt to spin. When someone's presence leaves you feeling uncertain or bewildered, it's a strong indication that the situation merits a second look. Trust these instincts rather than dismissing them. Evaluate what's unsettling you and seek reassurance from individuals in your circle whom you trust, thereby curbing the toxic person's influence over your sense of reality. By identifying these perplexing behaviors early on, you can create space and avoid further entanglement before any significant damage occurs. Sign 8. Undermining your personal value. Toxic individuals frequently attempt to erode your sense of personal worth, often employing subtle tactics initially. Over time, their words and actions can gradually diminish your self-esteem. They might belittle your accomplishments, make disparaging remarks about your appearance, or provide backhanded critiques, all aimed at coaxing you into feelings of unworthiness. Consider, for instance, a toxic acquaintance who comments, "Success remains elusive for you because you lack effort," or questions, "Why the perpetual dramatics? Toughen up." These barbs are precisely framed to lead you to question your abilities and self-worth, implying that you're intrinsically flawed or incapable of reaching your aspirations. The slow evolution of such corrosive behavior often masquerades initially as innocuous jokes or passing remarks. Despite seeming benign at first, the persistent negativity fosters a pattern that can significantly affect how you perceive yourself. With each encounter, doubt creeps in, challenging your previous confidence and capabilities, ultimately affecting mental resilience. To maintain mental equilibrium, recognize when someone endeavors to shake your confidence. Evaluate the emotional aftermath of interactions. If these consistently leave you feeling inferior, it's likely they're actively chipping away at your sense of worth. Cultivate supportive relationships with individuals who encourage and amplify your growth. Crucially, invest effort in building internal self-defense mechanisms to mitigate the impact of external pessimism. Sign 9. Ignoring your personal boundaries. An unwavering sign that you might be dealing with someone toxic is their chronic disregard for your boundaries. Personal boundaries are essential, whether they concern emotional, physical, or mental space, and require respect. Yet toxic people purposefully cross these lines, steamrolling your needs for their own benefit. Visualize a colleague who incessantly contacts you after hours, oblivious to your need for downtime, or a friend who repeatedly arrives unannounced, ignoring your preference for personal space, despite your prior requests for boundaries. Such individuals often justify their intrusions with statements like, "I hadn't realized it was a problem," or "You're too sensitive, it's not that serious." The truth is, they prioritize their desires above your comfort, employing manipulation to make you feel guilty for enforcing limits or unreasonable for expecting privacy. Over time, these invasions can lead to feelings of fatigue, burnout, and growing resentment. To safeguard your well-being, it is imperative to assert and uphold your boundaries emphatically. When faced with persistent boundary breaches, it's indicative of a fundamental lack of respect for your person. Clearly and assertively communicate your limits, and if they're continually disregarded, consider distancing yourself. Respecting boundaries is a basic courtesy everyone deserves. Sign 10. Relentless criticism. Toxic individuals have a proclivity for criticism, often couched as constructive advice or under a guise of concern, which in reality are merely instruments for undermining you over issues often beyond your control. By constantly nitpicking and zeroing in on perceived flaws, they create an environment fraught with negativity, emotionally depleting those around them. Imagine a scenario where a partner or acquaintance highlights every mistake or shortcoming, offering unsolicited advice that centers on your supposed failings. "You always ruin important occasions," or "If you could only manage this better like I do." This tactic saps self-assurance, driving a wedge between you and your innate strengths. Despite their portrayal of their critiques as improvements, the underlying intent is to feed off the induced insecurity. Their aim is not to assist you, but to gain leverage by embedding self-doubt, positioning themselves as superior or more competent. The impact of this relentless scrutiny ultimately leads to a wavering in self-belief as their judgments become internalized. Recognize the difference between genuine advice and persistent disparagement. If interactions leave you demoralized rather than mutually enriched, it's a red flag. Counteract this by reflecting on your achievements and the qualities that truly define you. The key lies in surrounding yourself with those who champion your victories rather than erode your value. Cultivate a network that remains vested in your progression and well-being, offering constructive feedback rooted in mutual respect and empathy. Toxic individuals often highlight perceived imperfections, whether they're trivial mistakes or unchangeable qualities. This tactic serves to make you feel inadequate, slowly eroding your self-esteem. Imagine a partner remarking, "If you just shed a few pounds, you'd be much more appealing," or a friend casually suggesting, "You've really not achieved much by this point, have you?" Although these comments might seem minor in isolation, over time they accumulate into a pattern that deeply undermines your confidence. A toxic person criticizes everything, from your appearance to your decisions, using this barrage of negativity to sow seeds of self-doubt. Their ultimate aim is to chip away at your self-assurance, making you more susceptible to their control and manipulation. Criticism is weaponized to reinforce a cycle of feeling inferior while enhancing their sense of superiority. Spotting this dynamic is critical. Identifying criticism as manipulation rather than constructive feedback helps protect your inner peace. If you find criticism commonplace in a relationship, it's vital to reassess whether this person truly values your well-being. Strengthening your own sense of self-worth and setting firm boundaries can shield you from their harmful words. Trait 11. The eternal victim. A staple trait of toxic individuals is their perpetual victimhood. In any situation, they skillfully avoid accountability, reframing themselves as the aggrieved party. This tactic draws sympathy from others, leaving you to shoulder unnecessary guilt or responsibility for happenings out of your control. One might lament, "Nobody ever understands my struggles," or proclaim, "Everyone's out to get me. Life's never fair." Such attitudes absolve them from admitting faults, focusing all attention on their perceived hardship. This incessant victim mindset manipulates those around them, drowning out any acknowledgement of their culpability. By fostering a narrative where you are the cause of their misfortune, they skillfully divert attention away from their own lapses. This exhausting cycle traps others into feeling responsible, diluting focus from personal needs or concerns. Recognizing this behavior for what it truly is, manipulative self-pity, is key. Such individuals rarely, if ever, accept responsibility for their actions, expecting instead that others will persist in managing their burdens. While empathy is an admirable quality, it is crucial not to allow it to become a vehicle for someone else's manipulation. Trait 12. Controlling your story. Toxic people frequently strive to dictate how you are perceived by others, twisting narratives to suit their purposes. They might distort facts, spread lies, or amplify certain details to shape the perceptions of those around you. This tactic aims to isolate and control, undermining your reputation to serve their interests. Imagine a co-worker circulating whispers that you're challenging to collaborate with, or a partner telling your circle half-truths that instill doubt and sow discord. These carefully crafted stories achieve two ends. Firstly, they alienate you from potential support networks, and secondly, they bolster the toxic individual's standing by comparison. The manipulation isn't born of concern, but from envy, control, or the desire to see you diminished. If you notice attempts to taint your reputation without cause, it's crucial to approach such narratives with skepticism. Engaging with these behaviors early keeps your sense of self intact and reduces the toxic person's leverage over how circumstances play out. By consciously choosing who and what influences your life, you reinforce your own narrative, crafting a story that reflects your truth and authenticity. Observing these manipulation tactics and consciously resisting them allows you to maintain control over your own narrative, ensuring that your story remains yours to tell. Embracing relationships with individuals who respect and support your version of reality enhances your resilience against attempts to hijack your personal narrative. To safeguard your personal truth, it's essential to stay alert to any discrepancies between your actual experiences and what others might perceive due to the machinations of a toxic person. If you notice shifts in how others treat you based on misinformation spread by them, consider addressing these miscommunications directly to maintain clarity and protect your authenticity. Sign 13. Turning your emotions against you. One common tactic among toxic individuals involves manipulating your emotions to suit their ends. They have an uncanny knack for pressing the right buttons to provoke feelings of guilt, sadness, or anger in you, often spinning situations to cast you as the problem, rather than taking responsibility for their own actions. For instance, when you attempt a candid dialogue about being hurt by something they've done, they might deflect with comments like, "You're being overly sensitive," or "Why make such a big deal out of nothing?" By invalidating your feelings, they sidestep accountability, leaving you questioning the legitimacy of your emotions. This form of emotional manipulation can be particularly draining, especially when it's a recurrent pattern. Over time, such manipulation can lead you to question your emotional responses, making you wonder if being upset is indeed unreasonable as they suggest. Toxic people excel in this space, systematically undermining your confidence in your emotional responses to maintain control over the narrative. To effectively combat this, it's crucial to recognize when your feelings are being used as pawns in a larger game. Trust your instincts and your read on events. If someone regularly invalidates your feelings or leverages them to make you feel at fault, it's a strong indication that they're not offering the respect you deserve. Stay grounded in your emotions, articulate your needs unequivocally, and prevent them from twisting the situation to suit their narrative. Sign 14. Perpetual need to outshine. A telltale sign of a toxic person is their relentless drive to outdo others. These individuals find it challenging to simply celebrate your victories or cheer for your achievements without the compulsion to surpass them. Suppose you share something positive that happened to you. They might respond with, "That's nothing special. I've achieved something even bigger," undermining your accomplishment with their own. This behavior speaks volumes about their insecurities and the constant need to assert superiority. It's often born from a sense of intimidation by your successes, compelling them to downplay your achievements to elevate their own. This dynamic can infiltrate both personal and professional arenas, where a colleague might diminish your rising star, or a friend diverts every discussion to highlight their triumphs. The most effective way to handle someone who keeps trying to eclipse your successes is to understand that their behavior stems from insecurity. They need validation through comparing themselves with others, using your milestones to inflate their self-worth. Don't permit their actions to rob you of joy. Instead, focus on your accomplishments and seek those who celebrate your victories with authenticity and encouragement. In our journey through life, we invariably cross paths with both uplifting souls and those who diminish our spirit. Recognizing the signs of toxic individuals can make a world of difference. It's pivotal to listen to your intuition, prioritize your peace, and ensure that no one dims your inner light. Remember, not every friendly face harbors positive intentions, and discerning the harmful ones early aids in fortifying your emotional health. If there's been a time when you felt exhausted or manipulated by someone you thought was close, or if this discussion resonated with you, feel free to share your experiences below. Let's engage in a dialogue about identifying these toxic behaviors and protecting ourselves against their influence. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more transformative insights. Comment below with, "My peace deserves protection." Thank you for tuning in.